Good morning everybody and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. It's Friday morning and it's overcast sort of day here in Sydney, but it's peaceful. It's not too windy, it's not too cold, it's not raining yet, so we'll make the most of this brilliant day that we have ahead of us. Chances are that the breeze will pick up a little later on and just blow that cloud away. So let's go on a walk and talk. I want to have a chat to you today about a book summary that I read last night. And the book is entitled, it's got a funny sort of name, it's called The War of Art. The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, and it's a play on words. It's a play on that title of the famous book by Sun Tzu, entitled The Art of War. So this one here is called The War of Art, and it's a very, very interesting look at how we go about working our calling and fighting the resistance that comes about in our lives, and in order to do the things that we really have to do. Sometimes there are some clues that we have, and the author expands on those clues and teaches us how to know what you really want to do in life, because it's counterintuitive. So the author kicks off the book by talking about the term called resistance. And he says that resistance can't be tasted, felt, or can't be tasted, can't be touched, but it can be felt, and it's a negative force, which is a preventative force, which for most people causes them to not basically do what they're meant to do in life. It's a resistance, it's a pushback, it's something that causes them to stiffen up and pull away from people, pull away from events, pull away from situations. And he says that all of us, each and every one of us, is fighting a silent battle every day with ourselves and with others. We're pushing back, we're pushing away, we're resisting left, right and centre. But he said that we need to become more attuned to what we're resisting and why we're resisting it, in order to understand our lives a little bit better and to get on and do the things that we're really meant to do. And that requires us to be ruthless with ourselves and ruthless with others around us. Because what happens is that when you put things off till tomorrow, or when you resist and put things off to another day, or when you resist saying hello to somebody, or you resist being open, cordial and engaging, then you're causing yourself challenges, many challenges further down the path. Because the reality is, whatever you put off today, whatever you put off now, chances are you're never going to do it, because there's never going to be a right time to do the things that you need to do in order to live the life you're destined to live. So a lot of people never achieve their destiny, never get to where they're supposed to be, because they're pushing back, pushing away, resisting, fighting like cat and dog, and just holding on to what they've got, as opposed to slowly releasing what they have and knowing that what they have will stay with them if it's meant to be. And by holding on, or by trying too hard to hold on, they're missing out on the other things that are bound to come into their lives and change their lives. And the big lesson the big, awesome lesson from this book, which I absolutely love, is that you need to be attuned to your intuition, and you need to learn to understand yourself. And we all are the same. We all are the same, because the author talks about here saying that the more scared you are of something, then the more you need to do it. Let me say that again. The more you fear something, the more uncomfortable you are of something, the more you push away and resist something, that's the trigger. That's the trigger to teach you and to invite you to go for it, because that's the very, very thing that you need to do. Because the author says something very, very powerful and profound, that if it wasn't meant to be, if it wasn't meant to mean anything to you, then you wouldn't have felt any feelings. Let me say that again. If it meant nothing, you would feel nothing. That is really, really powerful and profound. If it meant nothing, you'd feel nothing. The same comes with love. When you meet somebody and you have feelings for them, if it meant nothing, you'd feel nothing. But if you've got feelings, if you have feelings and you're thinking of them all the time, then that is an invitation for you to do something about it. And wow, this author gave me something, joined a lot of dots in my life, something, a saying that I was always looking for, always searching for. But in this book, he delivered it, and he delivered it with a home run. Because he says, very, very powerful, this is very powerful, especially for me, and I hope it is for you. He says that the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is indifference. Think about that. The opposite of love isn't hate, but indifference. It's not having any feelings whatsoever. Because remember, if you hate somebody or if you hate something, there are feelings there. There are some unresolved feelings. And a lot of relationships kick off with that love-hate sort of invitation. I remember my wife, Paula, when she first met me, she told me she hated my guts. How cute is that? So, but by hating me meant that there was some feeling, there was some unresolved feeling that was triggered in her. So once again, it's a very, very powerful notion. And my spiritual father always says that the indifferent Christian is the one who risks the most. Being indifferent is the riskiest place to be, because if you're a believer, you're a believer. If you're an atheist, you're an atheist, and you can change because you've got strong feelings which need to be rechanneled and redirected. But if you're indifferent, then you won't have the potential. You may not have the potential to generate the feelings and the beliefs in time, within your lifetime, in order to get to live your faith and achieve your calling. So indifference is a very, very dangerous place to be. And it's a big lesson for all the young people out there. Don't go through life being indifferent. Don't go through life not caring what other people think, say or do, and more importantly, not caring what you think, say or do, because everything is part of a chain. It's all networked together. It's part of your life cycle, your life circle, and each piece of the puzzle needs to work together to be aligned to your values, your goals, your dreams, and your actions. So once again, that is a very, very powerful point, and sorry that I harped on it for so long, but for me it was a aha moment. I'd never ever thought that the opposite of love is indifference. I always kind of thought or expected it to be hate, but as the author says, it's not. It's indifference. It's just not caring, not having any feelings for other people. And you'll see it, like you'll see it on Facebook, you'll see it in your life. There are people out there who ghost you, and by ghosting somebody, they just don't exist. You become invisible, and once you become invisible, it's the next closest thing to death. So the author then goes on to say some other wonderful things, which once again, very, very powerful. And he said that rationalization is resistance, is resistance's right-hand man. It's the wingman of resistance. Good old Mr. or Ms. Rationalization. How many times do we rationalize, sit there and rationalize things, and then say, well, I've been able to rationalize it, so it's right. But I remember somebody saying to me once, and I think it was my spiritual father, but I forget who it was, but he said that the minute you start rationalizing something is once again the surefire signal that what you're doing is wrong. The author then goes on to talk about lying. He says it's one thing to lie to ourselves, and the other thing is to believe that very, very lie. So we need to be honest with ourselves, not to spend too much time rationalizing and turning, turds or polishing turds. You need to call it out as to how it really is. And here's my mate Justin going for his morning run. Morning, Justin. How you going, mate? How you doing? So that's it. So, and he said that at the end of the day, another important message is that fear cannot really be overcome. We all live with fears. We all have fears. We all live with fears. We all overcome fears, but those fears are ever present. And he gave an example that Henry Fonda, the great Henry Fonda, one of the greatest actors we've ever seen, he said Henry Fonda always threw up, vomited just before he went on stage or just before he did a performance. Whatever he did, he lived with that fear. That fear was real, very, very real, almost overwhelming, but he channeled it and made the most of it. And the book finishes up with the last point is to basically go with your heart, go with your intuition, and live an authentic life, and to basically see resistance, see fear as an opportunity to be embraced, to be welcomed into your life, because greatness only comes when you walk towards your fears and conquer them through action, bold action. So thank you once again for joining me on Jim's 5am Club. It's a quiet, it's a still, it's a beautiful, beautiful morning. I'm just heading back to work. But let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's look resistance in the eye. Let's not buddy up with rationalization, who's the wingman, the best man of resistance, and do whatever we need to do to not only get our life propelling forward and achieving the most we can, making the most of our day, but also assisting and helping others achieve what they're meant to achieve today, tomorrow, and into the future. And as the author kicked off in this book, don't put off anything. If you fear something, do it. If you really, really fear something, do it boldly and do it with passion, because that's the thing that you're meant to do. That's your calling. Because if it wasn't your calling, if it wasn't important to you, you'd have absolutely no feelings whatsoever, and it wouldn't cause you any fear, it wouldn't cause you any concern, and it wouldn't bring you any discomfort. So remembering, the big lesson for me today was the opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. Don't be indifferent, and learn to channel your energies and take on the things that you fear most. Yassas, take care. Bye for now from Jim's 5am Club, and I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow, 5am, from a different location with a different message, but we'll continue along our path of growth and development and see where it leads us, because shared experiences, applied knowledge is where the sweet spot is in life, and we know that we just need to lean just outside our comfort zone on a daily basis, on a moment basis, and not to extend ourselves to the delusional zone, which may cause us overwhelming grief. Take care, keep growing, keep moving, and stay well. Yassas, and bye for now.